Hey folks, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Gene Della Sala, president of Audioholics, and today we're here with
Hugo Rivera, vice president of marketing. And Gene, you have a couple of what looks like to be in-wall speakers over here. What are they?
Well, Hugo, we were looking actually to upgrade the sound in our guest room. You know, currently we're using some Axiom in-wall speakers. We wanted something that was a significant upgrade in sound quality and build quality. So we called up our friends at Paradigm, and we got their top of the line here, Hugo. This is like the Cadillac of in-wall speakers here. This is from their reference collection. It's called the SA25s.
Okay.
Okay, it's a it's a two-way 6.5-inch speaker. It's got a 1-inch gold aluminum dome tweeter. It's gold anodized, and it's got a 6.5-inch aluminum cone woofer with a phase plug.
All right.
So we should go over some of the drivers and components involved, and you can better understand it.
Yeah, I was taking a quick look at them, and everything looks to be pretty high-end, very high quality, very well placed together. So I'm hoping that you can go ahead and shed some light on that.
Well, you know, one thing I like about Paradigm is they don't use science to cheapen a product. I mean, they really use good science that was developed back at the NRC by Floyd Toole, Dr. Floyd Toole. And they put the best quality components, especially in their top end stuff. And you can see that here.
Yeah.
You know, let's start with the woofer, for example. Their 6.5-inch aluminum cone woofer here. It has that phase plug in it, and I'm a big fan of phase plug drivers. You saw that, the little gold cone. Several advantages to phase plug drivers. Number one is it's separately isolated from the cone itself. So it acts as a heat sink. It helps dissipate heat. It reduces the cone mass of the driver because now you don't have a dust cap attached to the driver. So it actually, what that does is it gives you a little bit more high-end bandwidth out of the driver, reduces on-axis beaming.
Okay.
So what all does is it gives you the better ability to use that driver a little bit higher up, so it gives you a better blend with the tweeter.
Excellent.
And you know, you look at the back of the woofer, and we'll show you with the B-roll here. The back of the woofer it's not a cheap stamped basket like you get with a lot of speakers.
Not at all.
No, it's jacked. I mean, it's cast frame, but it has an extruded heatsink on it. I mean, when I first saw Paradigm speakers years ago, I went to a high-end audio shop and they pulled out a subwoofer, and I saw the woofer and I looked at the mechanics of the basket. I was blown away. I mean, it was just really incredible what they put in it. And they have that same kind of technology here. The tweeter itself, again, it's a high-end 1-inch dome tweeter, heatsink on the back of it, you know, because it's got a smaller magnet to try to fit within the confines of the space it's in. So they heatsink it to keep it cool, keep the compression down. And then the crossover, again, it's a high-quality crossover. It's a second-order electrical, third-order electrical acoustical. It has air core inductors where it matters. It's got the polypropylene caps where it matters. It's got a big iron choke on the base section. And it's got the resistor, you know, to pad down the tweeter, but it's on its own standoff for better heat dissipation. So I mean, they did a lot of things right here. And you look at the construction of it, you know, the front baffle, it feels like metal. I mean, it's so rigid.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of very nice composite is what they used over there.
Yeah, and then when you tapped on it, what did you hear?
There's no vibration going on over there, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's very inert. It's very inert. You know, just to give you some other props here, you could install these speakers two ways. You can install them in the wall with no back box, or you could do a separate enclosure back box that Paradigm sells. You know, it's a little hard to install back boxes in construction where the walls are already in. So what I would recommend, and what we're about to do, is we put acoustical foam in the drywall. And I don't close off the drywall because these speakers need the space. Okay? And then we put the speakers in, and you get a pretty good isolation there, almost like you have a back box. And you know, if we can have our little assistant here. She's going to bring us the little cutout template to show you how to cut out the speaker for your wall. Thank you, Junior Audioholic. So here's the little cardboard cutout. You just basically trace your wall around, and then I use an X-Acto knife. I mean, it's real easy, easy to do that. And then, you know, you don't want to look at the speaker once it's installed, so we need our assistant again to bring our speaker grills. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we got, Paradigm comes with these speaker grills, and they are aluminum, painted white, but you could paint over them if you want. You could change the color. I mean, I think white is fine. Most people will blend fine. So you know, I think the next step, Hugo, is to install these babies.
I agree.
Do some listening and measuring tests.
I agree. Let's go ahead and head downstairs and see what's happening with these.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Hey folks, we're back. We got our Paradigm SA25 in-wall speaker here. Got our cutout template. And as I was saying before, when you trace the hole in your drywall, or you trace the drywall, you want to trace it within the lines here. You don't want to go any wider than that because you'll have a problem getting the speaker in. You also want to go between your studs. Usually they're 14 inches on center, so you should have plenty of space for the speaker. So here's the drywall template. Here's the speaker grill cover. Now don't forget guys to take this little protective pad off. Otherwise you're going to turn a high fidelity speaker into a low fidelity nightmare here. So take that off before you put it on. I've seen people forget to do that step. Okay, we got our drill. We're going to drill the speaker in after we do our cutout. And let's go over here now. Okay guys, so basically I used my X-Acto knife, I used the template, I traced around the template, and I just punched a hole in the wall, and bam, the drywall's gone. And since again we're not running a back box, I took some acoustic foam and I had a handy stapler and I stapled it to the drywall. And you can see the foam is in there, and don't be concerned about the speaker not fitting. As soon as when I push that speaker back, that foam's going to compress, and we'll be just fine with that. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to install the speaker. I'm connecting it to our speaker cable, 10 gauge blue jeans. And it's a bit of a challenge here to hold it up when it's above you. Okay, now it's a little tricky to get this in the wall because the cutout is a little bit smaller than the actual baffle. So you got to kind of get that bracket up and in on one side and then kind of finagle it in on the other side. So bear with me folks. Okay, that fit. And now what you got to do is you got to keep it flush. And can I have the drill please? Thank you. And this takes a little bit of doing. You know, they're long screws, so be patient. It'll catch. What I do is I don't drill them all fully in. I just get them to bite and make sure all the screws go in first. Might want to pause it. Okay, so now we successfully put the speaker in the wall. If you want to take a closer look. And now it's time to put our grill cover on. All right, there we go. Hugo, why don't we take a listen?
Yeah, you bet.
Well, Hugo, we got the speakers installed. What did you think about the sound?
Yeah, the sound was awesome. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, you know, they sounded like they measured, and they measured really well. The only thing I could say about the measurements is Paradigm claims it's an 8-ohm speaker, and it's actually measures to be a 4-ohm speaker.
Yeah.
And there's a pretty aggressive phase angle in the upper mid bass. So I suggest if you're going to use a speaker of this caliber, to use a good amplifier as well. Mm-hmm. You know, a receiver would probably be okay, but if you can get yourself a nice two-channel external amp, you know, it'd probably be a benefit.
What about the price?
You know, they set you back a little bit, you know, because you're dealing with expensive components here. Mm-hmm. They're about $1,050 a pair.
Okay.
That's without the back boxes. The back boxes cost a little bit more.
All right.
But you know, a good friend once told me it's never been cheap to be hip and trendy. And trust me, if you've got these Paradigms in-walls in your house, you're being pretty trendy.
It's definitely worth it, you know, and the components are top notch.
Yeah, and now we have really good sound in this room, and the mother-in-law can be happy.
Yeah, she knows that you love her.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, with that said, Gene, I'll just invite people to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and let us know what they think of the video below over here, and share it with their friends, you know. And until next time, keep listening.